Hark, for there exists a truth of such profound and disruptive power that to grasp it is to forever shatter the lens through which you view your life. The world that surrounds you, the very fabric of your existence, remains an ethereal dream until you, and you alone, command it into being. The reality you inhabit is not a concrete, immutable monolith. It is not a fixed and predetermined stage upon which you are a mere player. It does not lie in wait for your understanding. Instead, it anticipates your very gaze to summon it from the void and into tangible existence. This is not the ephemeral language of spiritual poetry. This is the unassailable bedrock of quantum physics. In the now legendary double-slit experiment, scientists bore witness to a phenomenon that defied all classical understanding of the universe. When electrons were left unobserved, they danced as waves, a symphony of potentiality existing in a superposition of states, scattered across a boundless ocean of probabilities. Yet, the moment an observer entered the cosmic theater, the equation of reality was irrevocably altered. The electrons, as if bowing to a silent command, collapsed into particles, coalescing into definite form, into something undeniably real. The simple act of observation did not merely witness the outcome, it forged it. The observer, in a breathtaking display of cosmic authority, created reality itself. This astonishing revelation means that you are no passive spectator in the grand drama of the universe. You are not condemned to suffer through a script that you had no hand in writing. You are the sovereign director of the quantum stage, the observer who holds the power to collapse the infinite symphony of possibility into the singular note of reality. And yet, a vast sea of humanity slumbers, living as if the world were a foregone conclusion, as if their circumstances were etched in stone, immutable and permanent. They awaken each day to the monotonous drumbeat of the same thoughts, the same reflexive reactions, the same imprisoning emotional loops. They perpetually observe that which is, and in doing so, they condemn themselves to recreate it, ad infinitum, not from a place of conscious desire, but from a profound ignorance of their own creative power, a failure to understand that they can, at any moment, choose to look differently. But what if you were to awaken from this slumber? What if you dared to cast aside the murky lens of limitation and began to observe your life with the fierce fire of intention, with the unwavering conviction of faith, with the boundless curiosity of a child? What if, instead of fixating on the barren landscape of lack, you chose to behold the fertile fields of infinite potential? What if, instead of being a prisoner of your past, you began to respond to the siren call of the glorious future that beckons you forward? This is the profound and life-altering invitation of quantum manifestation, and it begins now, in this very moment. For reality is not something that befalls you. It is something that flows through you. The quantum field, that invisible, pulsating ocean of vibrating energy that underpins all of existence, is vibrantly alive with a kaleidoscope of possibilities. It does not respond to the hollow echo of your spoken desires. It responds to the resonant frequency of your observation, an observation imbued with the potent alchemy of energy, emotion, and unwavering coherence. The field is deaf to your words. It awaits the symphony of your frequency. And so, I implore you, where does your attention reside? For every fleeting moment, your focus is a celestial flashlight, illuminating one version of reality to the exclusion of all others. Are you casting its beam upon the shadowy specters of fear, doubt, and scarcity? Or are you radiating its light toward the unshakable pillars of trust, gratitude, and a magnificent, expansive vision? Most of humanity toils to change their lives from the outside in, a futile and exhausting struggle against the current of their own creation. But true, profound transformation, the kind that literally shifts the fabric of reality, begins when you consciously and deliberately change what you choose to observe. For every time you emotionally engage with a thought, you breathe life into it. you observe it into a more concrete existence. Every time you dwell on what is broken, on what is not working, you feed it your precious life force energy. You make it more terrifyingly real. But every time you dare to tune your inner radio to a higher, more glorious possibility, even if it has yet to manifest in the physical realm, you draw it closer to you. You initiate the sacred process of collapsing it from the ethereal realm of potential into the solid ground of form. This is not a flight of metaphysical fancy. It is an undeniable quantum fact. As the visionary Dr. Joe Dispenza so eloquently states, where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And it is this energy, not your strenuous effort, not your desperate struggle, but your focused awareness, your very state of being, that instructs the quantum field. This means that you do not have to force your way into a new life through sheer willpower. You simply have to become the observer who sees that new life already taking shape, already forming on the horizon of your inner vision. You must cultivate an unshakable trust that reality is not a locked cage, but a fluid, responsive, and exquisitely sensitive ocean, ever attentive to the compass of your focus. So, if everything that surrounds you is patiently waiting to be observed into being, what magnificent reality will you choose to see next? This is not merely a new idea. It is the dawn of a new way of existing. No longer will you be a passive bystander, desperately hoping that the world will one day change. You will become the conscious architect of your reality, deliberately engaging with the quantum field, moment by precious moment, as a conscious observer, a deliberate creator. Let this be the pivotal moment, the definitive start of a new chapter. For what comes next will forever and irrevocably shift how you see, feel, and create the masterpiece of your reality. Your consciousness is not a prisoner, confined to the bony cage of your brain. It is not ensnared by the relentless march of space and time, or the seemingly insurmountable walls of circumstance. It is the invisible sculptor of reality, the silent yet infinitely powerful creative force that shapes form from the boundless expanse of the quantum field. The world that you perceive with your physical senses is not the cause of your inner state. It is a flawless reflection of it. And that reflection begins its journey into manifestation long before any action is taken, long before any event unfolds in the material world. Visionary thinkers such as Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Amit Goswami, and the legendary Bob Proctor have dedicated decades of their lives to bridging the chasm between the seemingly disparate worlds of quantum physics and profound spiritual wisdom. They have shown us, with irrefutable clarity, that consciousness is the primary, fundamental force of the universe, and that matter is merely its derivative, a secondary manifestation of its creative power. As Amit Goswami has explicitly and unequivocally stated, consciousness creates reality, not the other way around. This single, revolutionary inversion upends everything you thought you knew about the nature of life itself. It elevates you from the role of a passive, powerless observer to that of a powerful, sovereign creator. But what does this mean in practical, tangible terms? It means that your intention, your focused and directed attention, begins the sacred process of transforming the wave-like possibilities of the quantum field into the solid particles of your experienced reality. That which you observe with a sustained and unwavering awareness inevitably collapses into form. The quantum field that surrounds you is a neutral and impartial canvas, but your awareness is the brush that gives it direction. Your attention, the palette of colors that provides it with its unique and vibrant shape. In the subatomic realm of the quantum, particles behave as ephemeral waves until they are observed. In the boundless field of human creation, your attention functions as the all-powerful observing instrument. It does not require your action. It demands your presence. It does not necessitate a complex method. It requires an unwavering coherence. It does not depend on external triggers to spark it into life. It depends on a profound and unshakable internal alignment. When your mind, the seat of your thoughts, merges in a sacred union with your feelings, when raw emotion is fused with a clear and unwavering intention, your consciousness imprints a divine blueprint upon the fertile ground of the quantum field. This blueprint then becomes the silent, yet all-powerful instruction that begins the process of reshaping your internal landscape, a transformation that will eventually and inevitably manifest outwardly in the world of form. Some may call this the practice of intention setting or the art of creative manifestation. Others, with a deeper understanding of the underlying mechanics, simply call it quantum creation. This is the sacred ground where ancient spiritual practice meets the rigorous scrutiny of observable science. Dr. Joe Dispenza has brought to light the measurable and often dramatic shifts in brain waves, physiology, and the electromagnetic fields that surround individuals when they hold a coherent intention infused with the powerful fuel of elevated emotion. The legendary Bob Proctor astutely points out that it is not your thoughts alone that paint the canvas of your reality. It is the vibrant energy that lies behind those thoughts. It is not the wish that is spoken into the void. It is the unwavering state of being that sustains it. Furthermore, consciousness is not merely a personal and localized phenomenon. It is profoundly non-local. This means that your awareness possesses the incredible power to influence realities, even at a great distance, even before those things have taken root in the soil of physical form. You do not need physical proximity to what you desire. You need a deep and abiding presence. You do not need the validation of the external world. You need an unshakable inner conviction. And this, my friend, is the revolutionary shift in understanding that will set you free. The world outside of you is not the cause of your experience. It is the effect. Your consciousness is the root, the fertile soil, and the potent seed of all creation. The quantum field is the ever-receptive and fertile ground, and your focused observation is the gentle yet powerful activation that allows the seed of potential to sprout and blossom into the magnificent flower of existence. So, the next time you feel the cold grip of powerlessness, remember this profound truth. You are not now, nor have you ever been, powerless. You are an infinitely creative being, a conscious agent of change, shaping the world around you through the pinpoint precision of your focused attention and the pristine purity of your emotional state. That is your sacred invitation, here and now, to pause, to take a deep and cleansing breath, and to bring a newfound awareness to the vast and fertile landscape of your inner world. It is an invitation to realize, with every fiber of your being, that consciousness is not a passive spectator. It is a profoundly and exquisitely creative force, and that the reality you experience is not just unfolding for you, it is emerging through you. Creation does not begin with strenuous effort. It begins with a gentle yet powerful act of focused attention. At every single moment of your existence, your life is being meticulously shaped, not by what you say you want, not by what you desperately hope for, but by what you consistently observe, react to, and feel into with every ounce of your being. Your attention is not a passive witness. It is a powerful and irresistible magnet. Every second that you are awake, you are tuning the internal frequency of your being, and that frequency is broadcasting a set of precise instructions to the ever-receptive quantum field. Your attention is a tool far more powerful than any action, more potent than any amount of willpower, and more effective than any form of discipline. Why is this so? Because of a fundamental law of the universe. Energy flows where awareness goes. Wherever your attention lingers, your life force energy collects, amplifies, and begins to sculpt the malleable clay of the quantum field into the tangible form of your reality. This is precisely why the same repetitive thoughts produce the same predictable feelings, which in turn lead to the same monotonous decisions, which ultimately sustain the same unchanging reality. This is not a mere metaphor. It is the undeniable physics of energy and motion. Your emotional focus, the feeling tone of your inner world, determines the vibrational quality of your personal energy field. Your thoughts do not just describe your life. They actively and powerfully activate timelines that are a perfect vibrational match. So, when you continue to focus on what is not working in your life, on what is missing from your experience, or on the pain that hurts so deeply, the quantum field responds not by judging you, but by flawlessly and impartially reflecting that reality back to you. If you persist in observing your current life as just the way it is, you are, in essence, unintentionally reinforcing its foundations, making it more solid and more difficult to change. Your inner state of observation becomes the unwavering blueprint from which the universe builds your future. You look at what is. You have an emotional reaction to it. And through that self-perpetuating loop, you observe it all over again. The same input inevitably produces the same output. But when you consciously and deliberately shift your attention toward a new and more empowering possibility, one that is in perfect alignment with your highest and most magnificent vision, and you do so with a deep and abiding emotional presence, you begin to collapse a new and more glorious version of reality into existence. You stop rerunning the worn-out tapes of the past and start vibrating with the exciting and limitless potential of the future. This is the profound secret that very few are willing to practice with the unwavering discipline it requires. To stop observing what is and to start observing what can be as if it already is. This is the precise mechanism by which quantum change begins. You are not faking it. You are focusing it. You are becoming the dedicated observer of a higher and more desirable energetic pattern, until that pattern stabilizes and materializes in your physical world. The old conditioned self, the ego mind, wants to constantly and obsessively check the facts of your current life. It wants to validate its fears, to repeat the familiar stories of past hurts and failures, to meticulously measure any glimmer of progress. But the quantum self, the wise and all-knowing aspect of your being, understands that the only true and enduring reality is the one that you emotionally stabilize within the sacred temple of your own consciousness. If you observe limitation, you will inevitably expand limitation. If you observe potential, you will surely unlock its boundless power. So here, then, is the energetic shift that you are being called to make. Your observation must become a conscious and intentional act. Your focus must become a sacred and inviolable space. You are not here on this earth to mindlessly witness the reality that already exists. You are here to witness the invisible into glorious and tangible form. Each and every time you give your full and undivided presence to that which you wish to experience, be it profound love, overflowing abundance, unshakable peace, or vibrant vitality, and you truly embody the emotion of already being it, your attention becomes the powerful activator of that reality. It is not the faint hope, nor the wistful wish, but the unwavering internal decision to observe that which the world has not yet caught up to, that holds the key to your transformation. This is the exquisite art of conscious creation, choosing what to see before it can be seen by others, holding the resonant frequency of your desired timeline long before the physical evidence of it shows up in your life. Not because you are delusional, but because you understand that the quantum field is listening intently to your observation, not to your current conditions. And here is a powerful and liberating truth. You do not have to eliminate every single limiting thought that arises in your mind. You only need to become more devoted to your desired focus than you are to your familiar and comfortable fears. The quantum field does not demand your perfection. It asks only for your consistency. It requires a deep and abiding coherence between what you consciously choose to focus on and the person you are becoming on the inside. So, the invitation before you is both simple and profoundly radical. Begin to watch your own focus as if it were a sacred and unerring compass. Learn to interrupt the ingrained urge to observe what you do not want. Consciously withdraw your precious attention from the narratives that cause you pain and suffering. And then, with a spirit of gentleness, unwavering devotion, and consistent practice, place your awareness squarely upon that which your soul is calling you to move toward. Because that which you choose to observe with the pure and unconditional energy of love cannot help but become astonishingly and gloriously real. You were never just passively placed in this life to witness whatever unfolds before you. You came here to be a master sculptor, to shape the raw marble of potential with the focused power of your presence. Many people still cling to the belief that they are waiting for something external to change. They are waiting for the perfect job, the ideal partner, the return of their health, or the golden opportunity to fall into their laps. But in the quantum world, the world of pure potential, nothing moves until you observe it into motion. Nothing becomes real until your consciousness sends a clear and unwavering signal to the field, declaring, "This is what I choose to stabilize. This is the reality I am calling into being." This is the pivotal moment when your very identity shifts from that of someone who is merely reacting to the circumstances of their reality, to someone who is actively and consciously collapsing reality into form. You are not just watching this movie of your life. You are directing it. You are the lens through which the light of creation shines. You are the light itself. You are the author of the script, and you are the screen upon which it is all projected. Every single time you pay attention to something with the powerful fuel of emotion, you are assigning it weight and significance in the quantum field. You are not just seeing it. You are actively collapsing a wave of infinite probability into a solid and tangible particle of your personal experience. This is precisely why certain patterns seem to repeat themselves endlessly in your life. You keep observing them. You keep feeding them with the powerful currency of your attention. And the universe, being infinitely responsive and impartial, reflects them back to you again and again. This is not a form of punishment. It is a testament to the unerring precision of the cosmic laws. The quantum field is not giving you what you deserve. It is giving you what you consistently and powerfully reinforce through your observation, through your emotion, and through your very sense of identity. This is what makes you so incredibly powerful. And it is also why so many people unconsciously live out the same painful cycles that they no longer want. But here is where the profound shift occurs. When you begin to observe a new and more empowering story, even before there is any physical evidence of its existence, you begin to fold new and more desirable possibilities into your reality. Not because you forced them into being through struggle and strain, but because you witnessed them long enough, clearly enough, and with enough emotional coherence that they had no choice but to respond to your call. That is the very essence of the quantum collapse. Possibility transforms into presence, and it all happens through you. When you truly and deeply grasp that your observation holds this immense and awe-inspiring power, you stop outsourcing your transformation to the external world. You stop saying to yourself, "When life finally gives me peace, then I will feel peaceful." And you start declaring with unwavering conviction, "When I observe and cultivate peace within me, my life will have no choice but to mirror it back to me." Imagine for a moment that you are standing at a crossroads, watching two distinct realities unfold before you. One is a timeline where you are still stuck in the endless loop of the old, familiar emotions, still gathering evidence to prove your limitations, still meticulously tracking everything that has not worked out for you in the past. And the other is a timeline that already exists in the quantum field. A reality where you have fully and completely become the version of yourself who is gloriously free, profoundly joyful, overflowing with abundance, and deeply and unconditionally loved. Both of these timelines are present and available to you right now as pure potential in the quantum field. But only one of them will become your physical, experienced reality. The one that you choose to observe with unwavering depth and unshakable devotion. That is what the practice of acting as if truly means. It is not about pretending or being delusional. It is about consciously choosing to observe that which is not yet visible to the physical senses until it becomes your undeniable reality. You become the powerful collapser of reality when you stop reacting to what is and start deciding what will be. You become the master of your destiny when you look at your current circumstances, whatever they may be, and declare with every fiber of your being, "This is not all there is. I choose to observe something far greater." In that moment, you claim your divine authorship over the quantum field. And as you continue to hold that vision, as you continue to observe that greater reality, the gap between your inner world and your outer world begins to close. What you once only imagined becomes what you begin to tangibly experience. All because you dared to observe it as truth long before the physical evidence existed to support it. So here is your sacred invitation. Start observing your future self as if they are already here with you right now. Feel their vibrant energy coursing through your veins. Picture how they move with confidence and grace, how they speak with wisdom and compassion, what they believe about themselves and the world. And then, hold that magnificent image in the sacred sanctuary of your heart as if it were already your reflection in the mirror. Because in a universe that is governed by the laws of observation, the most magnetic and irresistible thing you can possibly do is to see with absolute clarity what others do not yet see, and then to courageously become it. There comes a moment, a shift so subtle yet so profound, that when you experience it, you realize with every cell of your being that the universe is not testing you, it is not punishing you, nor is it withholding anything from you. It is simply, and with unerring precision, responding to you. The quantum field is not an emotional entity. It does not look at what you want and then ask if you are worthy of receiving it. It does not check your past, your karma, or your meticulously crafted list of goals. It reads only one thing, your frequency, and it mirrors that frequency back to you faithfully, precisely, and every single time. This is why life can sometimes seem so utterly confusing. Because your conscious mind, the part of you that thinks and reasons, is asking for one thing, while your vibration, the energy you are radiating out into the world, is broadcasting something completely and totally different. You may be visualizing overflowing abundance while simultaneously vibrating with the gnawing energy of scarcity. You may be affirming your desire for deep and meaningful love, while at the same time resonating with a paralyzing fear of rejection. You may be dreaming of a life of boundless freedom while remaining emotionally tethered to the heavy chains of control, doubt, or comparison. And the field, in its infinite and impartial wisdom, does not debate or evaluate your desires. It simply and flawlessly reflects back to you the sum total of what you are being on a consistent basis. It is not personal. It is purely vibrational. This is the great and liberating shift of awareness. Manifestation is not about convincing the universe of what you want. It is about meticulously and consciously tuning your own personal energy into perfect alignment with the version of you who already has it. That version of you, the one who is living your wildest dreams, already exists. That person is alive and well, a vibrant and fully formed potentiality in the quantum field. But you cannot experience that reality from a frequency that contradicts it. The field cannot deliver the frequency of profound peace through the chaotic vibration of anxiety and stress. It cannot bring you the experience of unshakable worthiness through the debilitating emotion of self-doubt. And this is not because you are unworthy. It is simply because the vibrations do not and cannot match. So what are you to do? You are to stop focusing on trying to control the outcomes of your life and start diligently curating the sacred space of your inner state. You must begin the sacred discipline of observing your own thoughts, not judging them as good or bad, but simply becoming aware of them as they arise and pass away. You must feel into your emotional baseline, not just how you feel in fleeting moments of inspiration, but how you feel habitually, day in and day out, because it is your emotional baseline that broadcasts the powerful signal that the universe responds to. It is the frequency that you hold when no one is watching that sets the energetic tone for your entire reality. When you start taking full and radical responsibility for the energy that you are sending out into the world, everything changes in an instant. You shift from the disempowering role of a victim to the sovereign role of a conscious creator. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And you begin to ask the far more empowering question, "What am I vibrating that is calling this experience into my life?" Not from a place of guilt or self-blame, but from a place of profound awareness and unshakable power. The quantum field is your perfect and unerring mirror. But most people keep trying to change the reflection they see without ever changing the face they are showing it. They try to manifest more money without ever healing their deep-seated story of lack and scarcity. They try to find the love of their life without first becoming someone who truly and deeply feels lovable from the inside out. They try to shift their outer world without ever taking the time to examine the vast and often uncharted territory of their inner one. And the field, with its unwavering precision, continues to respond to the signal they are broadcasting, not the one they wish they were. So here, in this very moment, is your point of activation. Ask yourself right now, with unflinching honesty, what am I consistently observing in my life and in the world around me? What emotional patterns am I repeating day after day? What frequency am I living in? Not just when I am meditating or feeling inspired, but in the mundane moments of my everyday life. This is not about achieving a state of flawless perfection. It is about cultivating a steadfast consistency. It is about choosing, over and over and over again, to return to the frequency of the person you most want to be, until that frequency becomes so familiar that it becomes your new default state of being. And then, inevitably, it becomes your new reality. When you truly realize that the quantum field is completely neutral, you reclaim all of your power in an instant. Because if it is not judging you, then it is also not limiting you. There are no energetic gatekeepers standing between you and your desires. There are only energetic agreements that you have made, consciously or unconsciously. And the good news is that you can renegotiate those agreements, starting right now, with every breath you take, with every belief you choose to entertain, with every moment of focused presence. You are casting powerful votes into the quantum field. You are declaring with every fiber of your being, "This is who I am," and the universe, like a faithful and obedient servant, responds without fail, as you wish. So let this be the profound shift that changes everything for you. You do not have to earn your dream life. You just have to learn how to match its frequency. You have to learn how to broadcast its signal from the core of your being, and you have to do it with the unwavering emotional integrity of someone who is already there. That is why this very moment matters so much. This is your moment to stop reacting and start radiating, to stop begging and start broadcasting, to stop explaining and start embodying, because the field is already listening, and it is waiting for your command. If this message has resonated with you on a deep and cellular level, then declare it to the universe by typing in the comments below, "I am choosing what to see." Let the very act of writing those words be a powerful vibrational anchor, a clear and unmistakable signal to the universe that you are now and forevermore watching your life through the triumphant lens of creation, not the defeated lens of reaction. There exists, deep within the core of your being, a place that is not moved by the fleeting appearances of the external world, nor is it shaken by the turbulent winds of circumstance. It is the part of you that simply sees, without the distorting filter of panic, without the cloudy lens of projection, without the incessant noise of the ego mind. This is the pristine and powerful frequency of the silent observer. And it holds more creative power than any strenuous effort you have ever made in your entire life. The silent observer does not try to manifest through the clumsy tool of force. It does not chase after outcomes or engage in pointless arguments with the present moment. It knows something far deeper, a truth that is whispered on the winds of eternity. That reality rearranges itself not through the cacophony of noise, but through the profound power of stillness, not through the desperate act of wishing, but through the sacred act of witnessing with a calm and unwavering presence. In the quantum world, the world of pure and unadulterated potential, everything exists as a shimmering wave of infinite probabilities. But that wave does not collapse into a tangible reality because you struggle with it or fight against it. It collapses when you observe it with a crystal clear clarity, when you see it with an unshakable certainty, when your very presence becomes coherent with the reality that you desire to call forth. This is precisely why so many people try for years and even decades to create lasting change in their lives, only to feel as if nothing is moving, as if they are stuck in an endless cycle of frustration and disappointment. It is because they are still observing their current life with a deep-seated resistance, still watching their fears more intently than they are watching their future. And the field, in its infinite and impartial wisdom, simply and flawlessly obeys the lens through which you are looking. The power is not in the words that you speak. It is in the frequency from which you observe. When you learn to tune into the quantum field as the silent observer, detached from the frantic energy of panic, free from the heavy chains of judgment, and anchored in the unshakable bedrock of faith, you become irresistibly magnetic. The very things that you used to chase with such desperate effort begin to move toward you with an effortless grace. Not because you did more, but because you became more. More empty of the distracting noise of the mind, and more full of the profound and radiant power of pure being. This is not a passive state of being. It is one of the most active and demanding disciplines that you can ever develop. To witness your life without falling into the pervasive illusion that what you currently see is final and unchangeable. It is the sacred practice of holding space for that which wants to emerge, even when there is absolutely no sign of it in your external reality yet. It is the art of staying firmly planted in your center while the world swirls and moves around you. Because you are no longer desperately waiting for something to happen. You are consciously and deliberately aligning with it. The silent observer is not disconnected from life. On the contrary, it is radically and profoundly connected, but without the desperate energy that so often distorts the signal you are sending out to the universe. It watches from a higher vantage point, with a calm and serene knowing that every scene in the movie of your life is still unfolding, that nothing is set in stone until you observe it with the unwavering conviction of your soul. In this elevated frequency of being, you remember a profound and liberating truth. Reality is not a force that exists outside of you. It is a perfect and unerring echo of your own awareness. And the more silent, the more certain, and the more coherent your awareness becomes, the clearer and more magnificent the echo will be. So, how do you begin to live from this sacred and powerful place? You start by practicing the art of presence. You train your nervous system to feel safe and secure in the vast and often uncomfortable expanse of the unknown. You consciously release the deeply ingrained habit of constant and obsessive analysis. You learn to observe your thoughts as you would observe clouds drifting across the sky, allowing them to come and go without chasing after them or holding on to them. You breathe deeper, you slow down, and you return again and again and again to the part of you that simply and silently sees. And it is from that pure and unadulterated seeing that all of creation effortlessly flows. The world will continue to offer you an endless stream of distractions. Your old, conditioned patterns will try to pull you back into their familiar and comfortable embrace. The ego mind will whisper in your ear that you are not doing enough, that you need to try harder, that you are not making progress fast enough. But each and every time you consciously choose to return to the serene and powerful frequency of the silent observer, you restore your alignment with your true self. You gently but firmly remind the quantum field who is leading this dance, and you watch. With a sense of awe and wonder, as your life reorganizes itself to perfectly match your new and elevated vibration. This is the true seed of all power. You do not need to manipulate outcomes through force or struggle. You do not need to perform elaborate spiritual rituals out of a sense of anxiety or desperation. You just need to observe with your heart, with your presence, and with your unwavering belief. Because in this frequency, you are no longer separate from that which you seek. You are the field itself, remembering its own infinite and creative nature. And the very moment you truly and deeply see that, the wave of potential collapses. The illusion of separation breaks, and the miracle that you have been waiting for finally and gloriously lands in your experience. So here is the final and most profound invitation of all. Let go of your desperate need for proof, and instead, become the powerful presence that attracts it. Release the exhausting habit of striving, and instead embody the effortless frequency of your desires. Do not just visualize your dream life. Observe it from the sacred space within you that knows, with an unshakable certainty, that it is already real. Because the silent observer does not create by accident, it creates by coherence. It consciously and deliberately chooses what to watch, and then it watches it come alive with a breathtaking and magical flourish. Let this be your signal, a profound and irreversible shift in how you meet your world, and a powerful activation of the magnificent creator that you already are and have always been.